Well, that was abrupt. I don't know what the hell happened there. We're having all sorts of technical difficulties tonight. I cut Joe off there right at the end, too. I was ready to go, and he said, yeah. And he said, no, wait a minute. And I just said, I'm going live. I don't care. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us. And we got a special guest tonight, Legion of Comics. Thank you for jumping in here on this Blastin and Stashin. So 255.
Absolutely. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, not a problem, dude. Let me see here. Before we get rolling, make sure you go check out our Teespring over there. We got some pretty cool shirts. I keep saying I need to design more, need to work on more, and I got to do that. Maybe I'll try to take some time off work for vacation. Who knows? Between reading comics, kids, working out, all that fun stuff. Who knows? But before we jump into the comic books, let's talk about some Venom. I know we've had some people in our group or on the show tonight that have watched Venom since last Friday. What about start with you, Legion? I know you talked about it on your show, but give us a rundown on what you thought of Venom.
I honestly didn't enjoy it. Like, it was good enough to sit through for one watch, but I would never go back and watch it again. In a nutshell, it was hollow, bad performances. The script was rushed, and the movie was cut down to under 85 minutes. It was just poor all around. Knowing what it could be, any movie, like, it was below par in every aspect. The jokes didn't land. Why there were jokes to that level in it, I don't know, but it was bad. The fight scenes were too dark. They're hiding bad CG in dark environments and couldn't make out most of it. And I don't know, Carnage isn't the size of the building, so I don't know. It was just bad all around.
I know, Joe, you have a different opinion. We'll get to you, Mike. Joe, you had a different opinion on Venom.
Yeah, I'm not ranting and raving about it. I actually thought it was an all right movie. Yeah, they didn't do Venom justice, but it was a buddy cop movie. Had some humor, some one-liners in it. I'll be honest with you, I like the whole Venom making breakfast thing. You could have done that with any other character, and I probably would have laughed just the same way. But to sit there and I'm not saying it's my Marvel pick of the year or anything like that. I think I was just more fascinated to get back out, drink some beer, and watch it. I was drinking while I was watching.
That could be why you don't have an honest review. But we know somebody who does have an honest review. That's Spider Grandpa. We know you loved it. This was like your movie pick of the year.
This movie will go in the upper echelons of worst comic book movie ever with Fantastic Four. I'd rather watch the Fantastic Four movies than watch this shit.
Daredevil was better than this.
Daredevil was extremely better than this. Me and my wife, we saw it at Cinema Cafe. For those of you who don't know what Cinema Cafe is, you get served food. So we went for and beer. We went for early lunch, went right after the LCS, 11 a.m. We got in there, ordered our food. The movie starts. I turned to her about 10, 15 minutes in, and I said, if we didn't have food coming, I'd walk out of this fucking theater right now. I got to the part where Carnage actually hacks the computer with his group. I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm done.
I don't give you.
I got the check and walked out. So I never saw like the last, half of the movie. So
there is a Venom miniseries that Carnage does hack a computer and he goes through the computer to get out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the name of that like 4-issue miniseries. There is that, but
did Nick Spencer write it?
Oh, I think it was prior to Nick Spencer's time.
So who do I blame for this movie?
I think it's an all-around blame.
Tom Hardy himself.
Tom Hardy?
His team is who wrote it. Like, he was in charge of like the writer on this. I think they just knew they had crap to begin with, and they shrank it down in time, so it just made it even worse than it could have been. I don't know. Whoever gave Woody Harrelson his haircut can be blamed. There's a lot of people to blame.
It is better than at the end of Venom. At the end of Venom, he looked too Ronald McDonald. At this one, at least it looked a little bit better, I thought.
Well, it's not even just the haircut. Like, it's the amount of plot holes in his haircut being one of them. Like, he leaves the asylum wearing his asylum outfit. The next time you see him, he's dressed like a low-rent pimp. And you see on the ground is the low-rent pimp he stole the clothes from. But as it pans up, he has a fresh haircut. So it's a huge plot hole. And not even that, like Venom is sensitive to sounds, but they give us a whole Spider-Man 3 Tobey Maguire dancing scene where Venom goes to a club with speakers raving and bumping and thumping like that. That would have killed him. But yet he's in there with glow sticks, like preaching. Like it was dumb, man. It was dumb.
It's hit or miss. I mean, I didn't like the first Venom very much either. I thought it was okay, and the same thing. I really didn't have a whole lot going into this movie, so I wasn't like super let down by it. But definitely, I mean, I usually buy any Marvel movie. I buy like the Steelbook edition from Best Buy, pre-order it. This is not one I'm going to be pre-ordering Steelbook for. It's not. If I'm going to watch it again, I'm going to watch it on. Who streams Sony movies? Is it Amazon or I forgot who does it, but I'm definitely going to be streaming it. I'm not going to be buying the book and having it in the movie and having it in my collection for
For
sure.
me to watch it again, I'm going to have had to have been in an accident where I don't have use of my arms, and somebody else would have had to turn it on, and I'm stuck in a chair or something.
Seventh layer of hell.
Yeah.
So what about the last episode of What If? What do you guys think of that?
That was
Joe,
cool.
we'll start with you. Joe, you watched What If this week?
Yes, I did.
What'd you think of that one?
Yeah, things happened in it. Like a lot of things. Most of it didn't make sense.
Mhm.
But for the most part, I'll give it this. They tied up all the episodes instead of just keeping them single. I thought this was a smart way to kind of bring it all together. I thought there was a lot of cheesiness and hamness in it, right? And mind you, this is the guy that thought that Venom 2 was okay. So only take this as about a superficial comment. But I'm kind of on the fence with it because you talked about plot holes, and it's like there's a lot of plot holes in that too. A lot of things just didn't make sense. I don't know what's going on with my camera tonight.
I don't know what's going on either. Yeah.
Max Headroom. Well, what, like, just the little things bothered me a whole lot, and then, like, at the end of it and the way they ended it, I was like, you know what, I'm okay with this. I can live with this. I'm about 5 vodkas deep right now, so I'm just going to take this for what it is and enjoy it, and then we'll see what they do because apparently a whole nother season is going to happen. So. I'm excited about that to see where they actually take it. Now that we know we can pretty much just do whatever we want.
What about you, Mike? Did you watch that What If episode?
Yeah, it was fucking awesome. So, yeah, good to see bringing out, well, except for Thor, all the characters back together.
Right? What was that all about? Why is Thor the bro boy from a fraternity?
He's the comic relief for the MCU now. They have completely crapped on him for the sake of a general audience laugh. They've done it since Ragnarok.
We also did that with T'Challa being the sarcastic, funny thief rogue guy too. I mean,
well, he's kind of playing the Star-Lord part though too, where
right.
Star-Lord's more of that sarcastic guy. So I can see where that fits in a little bit better. He's playing that Star-Lord role, but not for Thor. I think
science thing. I really wish they hadn't done that.
What is it called? Like the God of Vegas or what? Some bullshit. Whatever. But it was like Peggy Carter, man. That's my favorite out of all of them. So,
what about you, Mark? What'd you think of that last episode of What If this season?
I thought it was a blast, taking the last 2 episodes of a whole, especially. But it was really fun. The little things that like dropping the zombies on Ultron and stuff, that was hilarious. I mean, but it was actually had like serious moments, and I do like the fact that they kind of rushed into it. Like there were plot holes there, but I don't think like they're trying to wrap up plot holes or even worry about plot holes. It was just a fight to just tie everything together. I think the plot holes in this were at the sake of fixing the plot holes that came before. But overall, it was really fun. The series as a whole, I would probably give it a 5.5. There's about 3 episodes I would keep or recommend someone to watch, and the rest can just go straight to the dumpster fire.
I did like the whole Ultron thing. I like the way Ultron talks, even in movie. Like I love his verbal mapping, if you will, the way he's like, this is a surprise to me, and this, settle down, and I really liked that. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know. I mean, what I caught at the very end of that too was, I don't know if Scarlett Johansson is going to be actually playing Black Widow anymore in the MCU, but that at the end of that one, they definitely tied it into where she could come back because they brought her back to that the main universe, I think, didn't they? No?
That was you remember the one episode that wasn't present in this one was the one where Hank Pym went crazy and started killing all the Avengers. And at the end, Nick Fury called, remember, wasn't that the episode where at the end he hits the pager to call Captain Marvel when they're in hiding and everything?
Yeah.
This was that universe where Scarlett Johansson was already dead. Not the main MCU, but where Nick paged Captain Marvel at the end on the beeper, because they spotlighted her in so many and teased her in so many, but that was that. I think it was the Hank Pym episode.
Okay. Let's go to the chat real quick. Miss So saying she was underwhelmed by What If overall, with definitely good moments in each show. James Spader was good to voice of Ultron in Avengers 2. People chit-chatting back and forth. We got Double S, Mars Comics, Sleepy Reader. Who else is in here? Brian LCS. They're all chit-chatting back and forth on what's going on. And talking to each other right there. So let's jump. Any other thing we talk about media-wise that we checked out this week?
Can we talk about Stargirl?
Well, you can talk about Stargirl. I don't watch that stuff.
You need to start watching Stargirl.
I don't have time to watch Stargirl.
I think you will enjoy.
I'm a sexist pig. Sorry.
It's amazing.
I love this last episode. The last two episodes have just been absolutely outstanding. They've hit some very hard topics. It's very interpersonal, and we're not getting a go out and beat up the bad guy. Yeah, right? We're getting a, oh crap, the bad guy is the personification of not only your self-doubt, but evil itself. And I absolutely am on board with that. Eclipso is killing it.
He's doing his thing.
Yeah. And it's not a softball. Like, it is straight up, hey, you know why everybody hates you? Because you're black. Like, that literally is like, oh my God. It is ridiculously evil, and I enjoy it. And then superheroes have to make a hard choice, like killing a human being, because that was not the thing to do. And then actually doing it, it was ridiculous.
Kids die so much in this show as well.
Yeah.
Like that, they have this whole wholesome vibe to it and this tone to it because it's JSA, but they remind you that this is not like a lighthearted show, and they kill kids left and right.
Dropping kids. Oh,
and what is it? Eclipso is a beast. Like, he is awesome. And they even have references to like the Spectre and stuff, because we're getting flashbacks now of actual JSA, because the whole show focuses on like JSA 2.0. It's the Justice Inc. Whoever it was, like the second generation of them. But we're getting flashbacks, like full on JSA. Like, we got Jay Garrett brought in finally. Like, we've known that Jay Garrett and Alan Scott are there, but they're finally bringing him in, and they let John Wesley Shipp fill the role, and it was fantastic. But you're just watching him dissect the team one at a time, like all in like the body of either this little maniacal boy or Dr. McNider's dead daughter that he's parading around in and causing more strife. Like, how twisted is that to even point out that he's parading around in this dead little girl's body that he killed, and nobody that even knows her is even the ones that are seeing it. Like, it's for his own enjoyment.
Yeah, this is his joy. Yes, Double S. I think Jeff Johnson does have a lot to do with this show. He's one of the consultants on it, actually.
Mm-hmm. That's his pet project, too. Stargirl is a personal project for Jeff Johns when he created her.
Definitely a good show.
Sleepy Reader wants to know what season is Stargirl on right now.
2.
Oh, is that where you're doing the 2 up? I didn't.
We're trying to spread peace over here, Huey.
I didn't know if you were asking your wife to bring. No, 2 drinks. 2 drinks.
I'm gonna go 2 drinks.
Then Coco loves Chevy. # We are Legion.
What's going on, John?
I've been continuing my Halloween movie fest too. I watched Critters, Children of the Corn, Demon Knight, Evil Dead 2. Elvira was the first one I watched.
Appreciate you sharing those clips as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We talking about my Elvira on TikTok? Yeah.
I caught it on YouTube, but
yeah, I put it on YouTube and I put it on Instagram as well. And all of a sudden it pops up. My wife liked it on Instagram. I'm like, oh crap, am I in trouble? Am I going to get the beat down from my wife for talking about that? But
worth it.
She's all, it's funny.
Worth it.
What was that?
I said worth it.
Worth it. She just turned 70. I've been listening to her audiobook too. That just came out like a week or two ago. So I've been listening to that as well.
Are there any pictures in it?
Do you have like a map to
In the
her?
audiobook?
Yeah.
No.
If there's no pictures, I'm not interested.
No. See, that's something else popping up in a different chat. But let's go ahead and jump into the comics for the week. First time catch shows what we do: read the comics, come back Comic Book Wednesday. We blast the books we hate, we stash the books we like. Let's go ahead and start with you, Legion. What do you got for us, man?
Okay, I was not. Okay, I'm gonna.
You're prepared. Don't lie. You're probably more.
That's
I was
okay,
sitting here to
didn't
reach
watch
for it. Like,
anything.
yeah. I'm going to start with one that I actually enjoyed, and that was the new issue of Amazing Spider-Man. Nick Spencer's era of Terra is over, and now there's a large creative team on this that's kicked off with Kelly Thompson, setting the stage moving forward. So we have Peter Parker getting sidelined from a fight with the UFOs, and we have I have that actual card, and we have Ben Reilly that's being funded by the Beyond Corporation, taking over the role of Spider-Man. So it was actually good. Like, the art was fantastic in it. They did a good job, like kind of pointing out that the stuff in the past, like the events of all the kindred crap, is still weighing on Peter, and he's kind of pushing himself to kind of avoid those emotions, and Ben's trying to talk to him. And there's this really awesome moment that made it like one of my top reads when Ben was talking to Peter, and Peter recommended that he just goes and works on himself and just chills out. Don't worry about being Spider-Man. And he shared with him that even though I didn't live your experiences, I do have your memories, and I still feel them. So just like you cannot stop being Spider-Man, I cannot stop being Spider-Man. I thought that was awesome. So I'm excited for where it's going to go from here. I grew up, I was born in the late 80s, so the Spider-Man stuff with the clone was always really cool growing up. So I'm excited to see him back. I hope they do something cool with him. And yeah, I'm in for now.
What about you, Joe?
I can't tell yet. This is on the fence for me. I'm going to go ahead and say our magical term. So get the thing ready. It was a whiskey dick issue for me.
I wasn't ready. Sorry. Joe's whiskey dick of the week.
I like the new updated one. That's nice.
I don't know if this is good because I don't know if my expectations are so low after the last run or not. Also, I am not a fan of the Clone Saga. That thing is just a mess to read. If you go back and read it now, yeah, when you were a kid, the comic books were spaced out. Your imagination kind of filled the plot holes in it. And honestly, I just thought it was a confusing story to read. Now we get in here, we have two different Spider-Man, but we're being told that they're really the same. And then we got corporate involvement in it. And I got to deal with corporate shit all fucking week long. I don't want to deal with it in my comic book, so I'm a little jaded by that. But for the most part, it is better right now, but I don't know if this standalone is any good on its own. So I'm whiskey dicking it.
Well, Ben, in its quick defense, Ben predates the Clone Saga by so long.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. But where they're picking up the story, this story is from, like, that's the connecting tissue to this story. So I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't think it's going to, like, no one's going to have read the Clone Saga or even cared about it for this to be its own thing. We're so far removed from that. Ben's been around for a lot since then, even.
I heard a comic book reviewer just today say, when did Spider-Man have a clone? Now, mind you, he was a young gentleman. And I was like, oh, you did. I'm old.
Well, I mean, like, he's even been around in, like, the current Cantwell Iron Man run, like, it's. But I do like it. Like, I love the Scarlet Spider suit, but I'm glad they put him back in this like late '90s suit, kind of updated. That's what he was rocking in the Marvel versus DC era.
Yeah, I just don't want to make a judgment call on this just yet until I've gotten a couple of issues into me, and then I can look at it and really pick it apart.
It's also going to be interesting with a big creative team because next week's issue is not even Kelly Thompson writing it; it's Zeb Wells writing it. So, like with Rom V and Al Ewing taking over Venom together, this has one of those large creative teams that's swapping out to get it out 3 times a month.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. First appearance of Ben Reilly.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one with the thick thighs.
The what?
Thick thighs.
The thick thighs.
Is that all you back there, Ben? That thing thick.
What'd you think of Spider-Man, Mike?
These two have said a lot on it already. Joey makes a good point. It's the first issue of this new team, so give it a chance. I absolutely loved it. I've liked Ben Reilly. From what we've been getting, this sets up a pretty good, solid foundation for moving forward. So I'm more what's it called? The Beyond Corporation. More interested. I'm interested in them. So how they're going to fund Ben Reilly and his Spider-Man activities. But yeah, I'm stashing it.
They've got to end up being the bad guys, right? Like that's just how it goes.
Oh yeah, you know
Like
that.
I was already assuming like they sent the UFOs. We really didn't get any like motive or anything behind the UFOs. They always have somebody operating them. So I bet they had something to do with that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stash too. I'm probably going to pick up at least the next few issues to kind of see where it's going. I've been kind of dipping in and out of Spider-Man when with the Spencer took it over. I think I had the first 3 issues, kind of fell out of it, jumped back into it, fell out of it, and I can't believe it took 74 issues to wrap up that Kindred story, and where he was constantly coming back. And that's what was like so frustrating with me. I like it that they're kind of moving forward from it. They have the fallout of everything that happened, but I definitely am looking forward to it. Now, I mean, to spoil the book, you know, Peter maybe have radiation poisoning from the fight at the end of that because he didn't have a special suit like Ben Reilly had, you know, kind of seeing without moving forward from there. But definitely as a stash, it looks like we all got different covers too. I ended up getting
I actually wasn't even going to pick up Amazing Spider-Man, but Scotty Young cover came out.
Scotty Young
said so.
Is that that black and white one? Is that same as that Spider-Man 55?
It's it's a Gleason variant instead of that side profile. It's the front profile.
Yeah.
And then the wrap around with those amazing Comic Clear backer boards.
Oh, I know you're pushing those, man. You're pimping those.
I pimp everything.
You know, everyone loves 90s recycled art.
That's Jusco art, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely, that's perfect. Yeah. Keep it coming.
Yeah,
Ben
I
Thiley.
wanted the Psylocke cover for Hellion, but my shop didn't have it.
Ben Thiley.
Hey, real quick,
Okay.
chat. We got Nick's Kicks and Comics. What's going on, brother? Hope you saw your promo today, guys. That's going to be Bill.
Yeah.
And then Austin Lumet, our in-house artist, if you will.
Yeah, so anybody in the chat, if you read any of these books that we're talking about today, definitely shout it out in the chat. Say what you thought of it. Tell us we're morons, whatever we got to say in that chat. Or if there's a book that came out this week you definitely want us to talk about, make sure you throw that out there too so it doesn't hit the lightning round. So, Joe, you're up. What do you got?
Ooh, let's talk about some garbage. So I've been nice about a lot of things tonight, but I'm not holding back on this one. This Eternals garbage book. Oh my God. Who cares? So if you don't know, the first Celestial, right, had voices, if you will, or his prophets, if you will. It was Ajax, a female character, and then some speedster that nobody cares about. So apparently they have lost the voice of God. They're trying to be deep with this, but the problem is that the writer doesn't understand, like, the metaphor, the the allegory he's trying to use, because he's mismatching them, and it's horrible. Whatever. I've been in the sun all day.
Whatever, sun, alcohol, whatever you got to say to
This is the problem with this story. So, and tell me if it makes sense, because this is what happens. So, like, they've lost their lord or whatever, stopped talking to them. So now they're all upset and questioning everything about them. And of course, the most faithful one believes that everything's always a test, right? So then they go to Avengers HQ now, which is a giant celestial they believed in. And they're like, how dare these people live in our celestial and live like maggots running through his dead corpse body. Whatever, it's stupid. And then we get flashbacks of Ajax dealing with the Avengers from 1 million BC. Like, I wish they would just do something with that story already instead of sidelining it into bullshit like this. Because that whole thing was garbage too, about how she's actually smarter than all of them, even though she was defeated. And I'm just like, What are you trying to tell me in this story that's interesting or that should stick out in my head? Because all you're doing is chasing tropes, and that makes you a bad writer. If you're just chasing a trope for that little bit of memory pill candy, then screw you. You're not telling a story. You're just trying to get a reaction. And that's all this is. And it's garbage fork. And shame on you, writer. You should be fired.
Anybody else read Eternals this week? No,
I don't buy
Mike?
that shit.
I don't buy that shit either.
Yeah, I'm a
We'll let Joe buy that stuff, drink and give it shit. Brian at LCS says ASM 75 was good read. Looking forward to seeing where the new team takes the story. I think that's where we're all kind of on that same page. We'll go to Mike then. Since nobody else read Eternals this week. What do you got, Mike?
All right, so I bought this book, Willy's Wonderland #1. So I didn't watch the movie. Let me stop. I bought the book, and I went home and watched the movie. Enjoyed the movie. It's stupid fun. Same with this book. It's stupid fun. I don't know if any of you guys seen the movie with Nicolas Cage. It's on Hulu.
I have.
Yeah. So Dave knows a little bit what I'm talking about. Watched the movie, then read the book. This is a prequel to the movie. Basically, it's a Chuck E. Cheese showbiz pizza with a bunch of serial killers working there. The cops find out what they're doing, and before they bust them in, they do some kind of satanic ritual to transfer their souls into the animatronic animals and characters. Huh?
Like the movie Chucky?
Kind of like the movie Chucky, yes, which is, for some reason, getting a TV series. Whatever. The book actually kind of tells the tale of the serial killers before they were, working at Willy's Wonderland. So I thought it was pretty cool. Stupid fun. I'm going to be picking up this series just to... Come on, it's got animatronic animals killing fucking people. What more do you want in your life?
It's pretty much all you can ask for.
Anybody else read Willy's Wonderland this week? No?
Probably not.
I think Mike's all alone on that. I may be all alone on this one, too. I picked up Are You Afraid of Darkseid? I don't know if anybody else picked up this one this week. It's a one-shot. It's like a Halloween-inspired, whole bunch of stories. Teen Titans is sitting around the campfire telling scary stories, and each one of them tells a story. Yeah, Mike.
Did your LCS laugh at you when you bought that?
No, dude. This is all. I actually like this cover. This cool cover with Darkseid kind of lurking in the shadows behind. This is definitely not. This was what? This was $10. Yeah.
What?
So. Yeah, I mean, because it's a pretty thick book. I think it's
80
like
pages, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's something like that, 80 pages. So it's a fun story. It's not anything great. I would definitely hold off and wait to pick it up, like for a dollar bin or cheaper or stuff like that. My favorite story is the very first one, and that's the only one Darkseid is in too. Darkseid is nothing else, which I was hoping it'd be more of a Darkseid throughout the whole book. And the first one is about Bloody Mary, and Bloody Mary was actually one of the female Furies that Granny Goodness trained, and now they're trying to capture her. She's in the mirrors and stuff like that, and Harley Quinn's in that one. And that's the best story of the group, and the rest of it's just kind of dumb Halloween fun. I mean, if you want to pick it up and more of like maybe you want to read to your kids, most of this is pretty easy going, and then the kids would enjoy it. So it's a stash, but wait for it to get cheaper. Nobody else wanted to spend $10 on a book this week?
No, I picked it up and flipped through it. It looked decent. Like the artwork was good in it and everything, but
it's been optioned.
Yeah, it's been optioned. It's been optioned. Teen Titans Camp away. Well, now we're back to Legion. Then what do you got, man?
Oh, since none of y'all are going to have read this, and probably the first time on your channel, Mighty Morphin #12. It's two different series. You have Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers. It's they split them 12 issues ago because there's two different teams now. They which is cool because they play into like the cast changing on the TV show. They actually instead of them just going off to live their life, they actually got taken off Earth for a different mission. So it's pretty cool. But it's been kind of stale for a while, but the past couple of months are kicking off for a big event. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about like the character Draken, the evil Tommy Oliver in the Power Ranger universe. That was the last big, huge, decent event. So this is actually building to a large event called the Eltarian War, which that's where the guy in the tube with the floating head, he's an Eltarian. So they're playing into a lot of the mythos and legacy of the Power Rangers in a way that's never been done before. And as a kid who grew up in the 90s, like there's a lot of nostalgia attached to it, and they're just leaning heavy into it. And they're doing some amazing stuff right now. The writer is really taking his time and put a lot of effort into this, and it's just amazing right now.
No, I don't think anybody else on the panel reads Power Rangers, do we,
No.
Mike?
That's the perk thing.
I'm familiar with the Power Rangers universe, but I stopped reading the comics a little while ago. So
Well, I'm familiar with the Power Rangers, but I don't know shit about them. I mean, I think you're young enough. You were right in that generation to where Power Rangers were hot. I think we're just outside of that. You know, that came on like when we were in our early 20s and stuff like that. And like now, at least I never caught on with it for sure.
Dude, that's funny. Double S asks that because that's actually what the big kicker is currently with Lord Zed. They, for one, gave us his origin story, which never been done before. And they attached him to Zordon before he was a floating head in the vat. And it's actually really cool. Like you just found out that Lord Zed is actually like basically Zordon's brother in arms. And Zordon just found that out in this issue for the first time since Power Rangers inception in 1992, that him and Zed are practically brothers. And it was done really, really well too, because Zordon was told that information. So he kind of just like communication projects to Zed's palace, you know, not physically, but he's there to communicate with him. And Zed just sits there like a conqueror, leaned back in his chair, holding his staff while Zordon's just running his mouth like, I won't believe this lie. There's nothing you can say to convince me. And then Zed just says a quote that he told Zordon the first day he took Zordon out for a patrol. He's like, never eat the food in these whatever markets. And Zordon just shuts his mouth like in disbelief. Like it was like, damn, that was a good call. Like it was smooth, man. It was really good.
Yeah.
Back to Joe. What do you got, man?
I'm gonna talk about something I actually enjoyed. Not my pick of the week, but man, it was up there, and that's this Arkham City. Did y'all pick this up?
I did, but
I read it digital. I did not pick up a floppy.
So I like this. Halloween's coming around. It's time for some.
Mike picks up the floppies all the time.
My kids are
But
I'm doing it right now.
do they remain floppy is the question.
Yeah.
Not with you on the show.
This was just a psychological thriller is all this is. Psychiatrist. Remember A-Day that happened where everybody thought the Joker bombed Arkham City with the gas. It turns out it's the actual scarecrow, and it caused all the things up on future state. Well, in this one, all the inmates that escaped in some way, shape, or form, the psychiatrist was off that day, and she's kind of helping the police kind of round up all these baddies. And we're picking, I think, very unique villains in this one. We got like the Mad Hatter, who I think doesn't get enough credit because, yeah, he comes off as campy, but he's actually kind of villainous. Like, makes everybody think they're in delusional wonderland, you know, like heroin. And then we got 10 Eyes, a character I'm not that familiar with, but I'll tell you what, in this, it's pretty creepy. And then a whole slew of other ones. A Rat King came off not campy in this. That
Twisted.
It was just creepy and twisted. Like, it was legit creepy and twisted. And I like where they're taking this. And I don't want to say it's coming off as realism because I don't think that's a correct statement, but I think it's coming off more with a horror vibe with a Silence of the Lamb kind of twist to it. So I'm enjoying this. I will be picking up more of this because it's just the season to be scared.
Mike, did you read Arkham City?
I did. The art took me out of it. The villain stuff is cool, but I don't think I'm be getting any more. So it is a whiskey dick for me.
Even with the 10-eyed man?
Even with the 10-eyed man.
Oh, that was so twisted.
You're a horror movie fan. I thought for sure you would be on board with it.
Yeah, I've seen it
really
before.
Did.
Oh, some Guillermo del Toro stuff.
Yeah, like Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think that person was slaughtering
Yeah, I
kids.
don't even get the whiskey dick thing.
God.
Well, you know,
Just for you, Mike.
thank you, Dave.
You're
Yeah, if the
welcome.
art was a little bit better, I might continue picking it up, but I couldn't take it. So
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That art was awful. I mean, and I can deal with like Long Halloween, which is I forgot who the artist is on
Sale.
that. Yeah, Tim Sale's art is pretty rough for me. This is even worse than
Love
Tim
it.
Sale.
This was
you
someone
love-
named Danny. I love Tim Sale. I think it fits the story perfectly. It's like Department of Truth. The art on its own stands alone, atrocious. But when you put it with the story, it plays into it really well in these situations. And I used to not be like that, but Department of Truth has taught me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can read.
I didn't even get halfway through this book, and I'm like, I'm done with it. I couldn't get past the art. I was super tired, and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm done. Didn't even finish reading. I had so much other stuff I had to read this week, so this is a blast for me. But what do you think of it, Mark?
I thought it was really good. It was completely creepy. They had that, like Joe said, not trying to call it realism, but they had a real ground level grit to it, where they're trying to keep it grounded. Like you're dealing with a psychiatrist and police, taking it from that perspective. You're not getting all this meta, this and that. So when you encounter somebody that might have powers or something, even though we're inside of a universe that's riddled with people with superpowers, it's so easy to get lost in the fact that you're not used to that from this perspective. So when you have this creepy person with 10 eyes taking people's jaws out without leaving an incision on them, you're like, how could he do that? Even though like people can do anything in this universe, but you're still like, how the hell? So like you pointed out with the Rat King under the bed, like debating when he's going to eat this child that's sitting frozen in fear on top of the bed. Like it was a good horror comic. Like DC is leaning into some horror stuff lately, and it legit was a good horror book. And seeing that the psychiatrist was in cahoots with these inmates that escaped the asylum, but yeah, it's definitely a stash. Most definitely a stash.
Double S says, I don't care if it's 10-eyed man or the one-armed man. I'm not picking up issue 2 of Arkham.
What about the one-eyed man?
Heroin really numbs the pain.
Yeah.
Going back to Joe's comment there. See who else? We have anybody new else in here? C-List E-Man is in here as well.
They have a cool little podcast over there.
The C-List Villains.
That, like, I don't always comment, but I always try to leave them a thumbs up, and I definitely listen to them. I catch up on the episodes while I'm in the old evil lair there working. I enjoy that show. They bring them. They're kind of like us, only funny.
We're not funny, not at all.
And E-Man is the one that designed and created the new intro on my channel for me. If you guys know anybody that's looking for digital work like that, definitely reach out to him.
Whatever,
we got
man.
Backer in here too. He says, I'll save a lot of money if they all go digital. And now, if they all go digital, I don't know if I didn't read any new comics. I'd probably just stick to filling back issues at that point.
I'm in a weird in the middle phase, like where I'm just now starting to try to read more stuff digital. So it's the stuff that I wouldn't go buy anyways, that it would stay on the shelf if there wasn't a digital option. And that's working pretty well for me. I just forget what I read is the only problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a just a physical. I have to have it in my hands. The same with my movies too. I still have to buy a Blu-ray. I don't like buying digital movies, so it's just having the tangible item with me. That's what I enjoy. So we're back to Mike. Don't even talk about tangible items in my hand, Mike. Just go talk about your comic.
I used to say that with video games. I had to have a physical copy.
Okay.
That's long since went away. I downloaded, like Far Cry 6 came out yesterday, right? Yesterday? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I digitally downloaded that shit. So anyway.
Well, what do you have in your tangible little hands right now?
Oh yeah.
I am choking my chicken. My
chicken devil.
Oh, chicken devil.
Chicken Devil. So this guy, he owns a chain of chicken restaurants. And his partner gets tied up with the mob. Some bad things happen. They start blaming him. They're going to go after him. He's trying to save his family. His family gets killed. And he's going to have a falling down moment. And I think he's going to don this chicken suit and start taking out bodies. Again, another book. The art takes me out of it. I couldn't stand it. So this is a whiskey dick.
I'm not giving you 2 whiskey dicks. You only get 1 whiskey dick.
Okay. But
Sorry.
yeah, I'm going to keep picking it up. I'm going to pick up the second issue at least, just to see the murderous rampage the Chicken Devil goes on. But like I said, the art's not my thing either. So.
But is he really going to go on a rampage, like a purposeful rampage? Because at the end of the book, he does don a chicken costume to go into that gym, to the locker, to get the whatever's hidden in there. And he accidentally kills that mobster guy. Is it all going to be accidents at that point? I mean, he doesn't have any training.
I don't know. That's why you got to pick up issue 2.
Well, that's why I'm probably going to pick up issue 2, just because I do like it. I thought this was
Mama's
really interesting,
gonna
kind of
get
down to
involved.
earth.
And
You know,
Mama's
the
got to give it.
general Joe guy, just everyday guy, kind of thrust into a situation where he wasn't prepared for. And that's what I really enjoyed of this story here. I mean, he's not a violent guy by nature, but he got pushed to that brink where he may become violent by nature. So definitely interesting. Yeah, the art definitely was not the best, but this is definitely a stash for me. I'm picking up issue 2.
Look, it's Junkyard Joe.
It is Junkyard Joe. Did you pick up this, Mark?
I did not. I flipped through it and looked at it the day before it went on sale and passed on it. And I haven't gone back to read it digital yet. I did like the art in it, though, and the colors in it were fantastic.
Joe,
It was
what
pretty
about you?
vibrant.
Did you read?
I did.
I see you got it in your hot little hands there.
I feel like I've watched this before. It reads like
At
a
Peter
script.
Griffin.
It reads like a script. It's like a backwards Breaking Bad, right? Like the opposite version. What it would be like if you were just an upper middle class guy who owned restaurants. Like the guy from Chick-fil-A's and some shit, right? So, but I liked it because I like stories. And again, I could care less about art in a book. I very rarely, I don't judge art in any way, unless it's just like super atrocious. But for the most part, I don't care about art. I mean, I like the story. And as I'm reading through this, I like this whole take everything away from the everyday guy and see what he becomes, right? I like those kind of stories. And here we got an everyday guy put into an extraordinary situation. And then he has an out, right? His mom, right, apparently is like a hardcore criminal, Will she get involved? Will he step up, put on this chicken suit, start dropping bodies everywhere? I would like to know how that transitions. But this is great because you can make this as ridiculous as you want and still relatable to some degree. So, that's all comic books are to me. Good comic book stories, nothing more than ordinary life made in the extraordinary. And I want to see how they make this extraordinary.
That little extra.
Just that little extra.
Just a little extra. Okay, I'm going to talk about Out #1 by Upshot. So, cross between like The Great Escape or Hogan's Heroes meets vampires. So this is what they had. The end of World War II, the Germans are kind of almost on the verge of losing the battle. So they're trying to figure out a way to turn the tides. So they end up digging up a old vampire and trying to use it essentially as a soldier to win the war. We got this group of soldiers that are being thrown into this concentration camp, but they always have a plan to try to dig out. And so that's what the process is right now. The groups, the U.S. soldiers, are trying to figure out how to get out of this prison, but now there's a vampire loose in here as well. So Upshot, I think, has definitely been pretty good for the most part. For an independent book, they usually throw out some good stuff. And Out, I think, definitely is. So it's not like it's not out of the closet, Mike. So don't stress like that. It's just trying to get out of the prison. So this is definitely a stash for me.
Was
Mark,
it a
did you
concentration camp or POW camp?
POW camp.
Oh, I'm sorry, POW camp. Sorry, I got my terminology wrong. Jesus Christ, critics.
Well,
Mark,
there's
did
kind
you
of a
read
big
out?
difference.
It's kind of the show.
Sorry.
It's technically
Sorry.
a buffet. It's a buffet camp.
Yeah, now it is.
Yeah, I
Did
thought
you
it
read
was.
this,
I thought
Mike?
it was okay. Yeah, I did. I read it digital. I thought it was okay. A couple of the cool aspects. I thought it was cool that your main character is a wind talker, and they lean into that historical aspect of how we did code breaking and keeping our code safe from the enemies back then by using like Native Americans and stuff. So I thought that was cool, and there wasn't really much else to this book other than just setting the stage for it. But it had the cool cliffhanger ending where the vampire woke up, and you don't even get a clear shot of him yet, just him feeding. So that has me like definitely in for issue 2 to see what's going to happen when the shits really hit the fan. But it was good.
Joe, what'd you think of it?
I absolutely love this. I love the Welsh priest, and a lot of things he was saying in Welsh are basically, you know, Father, why have you left me? Again, this was how you have a guy that's like lost the voice of the Lord, right? That's supposed to speak for the Lord, right? Or whatever deity they believe in. I thought this was really good because he's losing hope. The character dynamic in it is awesome. We have a British guy. We got an American Army guy. Like it's a POW camp versus a concentration camp.
Sorry. I got it was POW camp. I get that. I'm sorry. I screwed
I
up.
was going to make that distinction anyway, because in the beginning, the people that actually dug up the graves were obviously people from a concentration camp. That's why it was very easy to lay them down on top of it, because in World War II, POWs were treated very differently than other prisoners. They would actually follow Geneva Conventions, and in some cases, officers were actually separated from people. A little historical fact, I don't want to dive too deep into it, but it's very well-known military knowledge. Whoever wrote this book, or if they collaborated with the story writer, obviously did some homework in here. You get little tidbits of historically accurate stuff. I liked this. This was smart, and this actually I had to look up a couple of different things in it exactly what I was reading, and I kind of like doing that. I'm nerdy that way. Like I don't mind research. So this was pretty cool, and even to the point to the camp. The camp is an actual camp. It is a legit POW place. It was a real place, and it was a castle. Mostly it was for officers and stuff like that. So I was like, that's and I'm getting to the age like all old people. Not making fun of old people, but I'm getting to the point where I kind of like, reading about World War II. I'm just not at that age.
I don't have the Huey fucked up video yet, but I'll work on that. We're gonna go to Mike. What'd you think of Out?
It was awesome. I love reading about Nazis, and especially when they get into the occult shit. One thing, all these prisoners that are being transferred to this not concentration camp have previously tried to escape all the other POW camps. So they're like being transferred to this maximum security castle. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. So I'm definitely on board. So
okay, now that we've obviously figured out it is a POW camp, we're getting that.
Has that been confirmed yet, though? Are we sure that's been confirmed?
Okay. But Pops Attic asks, were vampires historically accurate? Interesting.
It depends. If we're talking about that Twilight bullshit, no.
Also, Panda Awesome, thanks for swinging by tonight, man. That dude likes everything I do on Instagram, and it makes me happy. Thank you.
We got a new subscriber, Coco Loves Chevy. You've subscribed to our channel too, so appreciate that.
He's an awesome member of the community.
If you're not subscribed, I don't know if Panda Awesome is, and maybe, but I have to go check. But actually, if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. I got some other stuff I want to be working on too, but I'm not sure yet. We're back to Mark. What do you got? Next book.
I wouldn't feel right being here if I didn't blast something. So Batman 114, this is just shit. This whole fear state is just shit. Utter shit. I feel like I need to go slam like 4 beers to do this right, but I'll just let Joe handle that for me. But Fear State's just dumb at this point. This issue is just a fight between a character that doesn't matter or mean anything, Peacekeeper X. Let's create him. Let's pretend like he's something just so we can send him out and let him lose in a fight against Peacekeeper 1. So he's just a throwaway character while Batman does not a damn thing. And we're right where we started at the beginning of the issue when we get to the end of the issue. So to hell with that book.
Blast that shit.
Blast it.
Bow.
What about you, Joe?
I thought this was a boring issue. I was kind of hoping this whole Peacekeeper X would be a cool thing, and it just turned out to be lame. And then guess what? Clown Hunter, all of a sudden, after turning down Batman and after turning down Red Hood and turning down Harley Quinn, he's like, random, promiscuous Robin guy. I think I want to hang out with you. And I'm just like, nah, I'm done. What do you got?
Remember last year when I said he's going to become the new Robin?
Yeah, I said so too. Like, we were all agreeing with that. But now he's like, he's not even that. He's like the Robin of the Robins, something else in the Bat family, because God knows we need a bigger Bat family. Like, I was on board with you. I was like, yeah, let's make him a Robin. Like, screw all these other Robins. It's time for them to get fired. Hey there, crazy Asian kid.
They should have just got him out of Gotham and let him develop and become his own character somewhere else. Have they ever done that? Like, someone can come from Gotham, get the fuck out of there and establish yourself and be your own person. Like, send him to Central City. Send him to Coast City.
Bloodhaven and just be an
No, fuck that. That's Batman stuff too. Get out of the Bat titles and just go understudy under Green Lantern or something. Like,
That's, yeah.
be your own thing. Like, this shit's getting old.
Yeah.
Be the
what about
Punisher
you?
for DC Comics. We don't have a good Punisher character in DC Comics right now.
Right? He could have just traveled around and just done one hit series where he just travels around and, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
traveling psychopath.
And,
You know, Batman's not going to let him operate like that in Gotham. He can't operate that like that anywhere.
No, but he's gonna buddy with a Robin, and they're gonna tweet or whatever the fuck they kids do today.
That's what Tim Drake does now.
Mike, what'd you think of Batman?
I'm so behind them. I'm like 3 issues behind on Batman. I haven't even read it yet.
We'll just wait for the Williamson run.
Yeah, I'm ready to be done with this Fear State stuff. I'm just getting kind of tired of it. Yeah, this has definitely been really boring stuff moving forward. I just want to get past it, get on to a new storyline, and just be done. So it's It's my whiskey dick. Joe, what about you? What do you got?
Anybody read Soul Plumber?
Yep,
Yeah, I
read
stopped
Soul Plumber.
after the first couple pages.
Jesus Christ, Mike, you're killing me tonight. So this is stupid Halloween fun. It's an adult version of a Goosebumps story is all it really is. You have a kid who thinks he's got a calling from the Lord. A lot of religious stuff going on so far in this haul. But in this one, kid gets a religious calling, tries to go to seminary, gets kicked out. I don't know. Maybe he's a potato. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Gets a job at a gas station, but he's the constant what would Jesus do type character, right? Meets up with an evangelist, a snake oil salesman. They buy some machine, and he steals the machine so he can rip people's souls out. But what interests me most about this, because that's all generic, is these little side characters they kind of throw at you in here. There's a guy who literally has a religious belief that he should be able to say whatever he wants and in his tone, however he wants. So he's constantly cussing through this thing. And he threw out the whole I'm a vet thing, which don't get me wrong, I appreciate all vets. But we're talking about a character in here. So he uses it as kind of a shield, to justify his reasoning behind things. For the most part, I think this is just an adult Goosebumps with foul language in it. I don't think it's particularly great, but I would probably pick up a second issue of this just because it's Halloween time and I like scary stuff.
Mike, what'd you think of Soul Plumber?
A couple pages in, too much religion thrown at me at one time. Turned me right the fuck off. And then the guy talks about tasting the other guy's balls, and I was done. So didn't even finish it. Blast.
Didn't you say it was for kids, Joe?
Fun of religion in it, right? Like that, it's a satire of religion.
Right.
Okay.
For satire to work, you have to be familiar with what you're satiring to, though.
Fair. God. Pretty universal.
Isn't it? It's like the
Yeah,
one
yeah.
thing that isn't. It's a perfect example of something that's not universal.
God. It's God.
Joe
No,
said it was
this
an
would be-
adult version of Goosebumps. They didn't say
Okay.
it was for kids. So, yeah, this was kind of interesting because this kid who failed becoming a minister or cemetery. What was it? Seminary
Seminary.
school. But he sees the good in everywhere. Sees that it's not. There's something else that's driving him to be a bad person. So he's trying to see the good in everybody and trying to help everybody. And he steals the plans because the guy wants way too much for this soul-sucking machine. So he builds his own because he can't understand the plans. He uses like a toilet seat as the portal or whatever to grab the evil soul out of the person. And at the end of the book, he shows him pull a soul out, or is it? We don't know, and that's how that book ends. So I definitely want to know: did he rip his guts out and everything else, or is it actual soul and actually worked? So I'm on board with this. The art is pretty bad though. But I definitely kind of want to see and read issue 2 on Soul Plumber. What about you, Mark? Do you read that?
I did not flip through it, passed on it.
Not even digital?
Mm-mm.
Don't bother.
Mike, you're up.
All right.
Mark,
This book,
Mike.
What?
Mike, you're up. That's it.
This book actually was supposed to come out last week, but reasons didn't happen. That's Darkhold Alpha. This is pretty decent. My biggest problem with this isn't Scarlet Witch dead? I mean, she's the main character in this fucking book. She has a bad dream. They're looking for the Darkhold. She's having dreams in this evil world, and how do you feel? This demon Cathan, who actually wrote the Darkhold, is on his way, and of course, Dr. Doom and Victorious are behind it all. It's okay. There's a bunch of tie-ins coming, so I might pick those up. It's a whiskey dick.
The soul sucking machine, his ex-wife. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up Darkhold too. I don't know. It just didn't seem like anything original to me. The team coming in, the team of Marvel characters that got to work together in order to defeat the bad guy. You have the fighter, the artist, I think I might pick up issue 2 on it just to kind of see where else is this going. But
it's going to spin
Dr.
off.
Doom being arrogant.
It's going to spin off into all the like Spider-Man books.
Yeah, next week is Darkhold. Iron Man is the next chapter in it.
Yeah. Then it's going to be that Darkhold Omega or whatever the fuck it's called. They turned all the heroes evil again. Like they venomized them, but they're dark now.
Yeah,
So.
they're the Darkhold.
Go read Dark Ages
Darkhold
instead of this book.
Defiled.
Yeah, go read Dark Ages before this. So
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Mark? Did you read it?
I did not. I read Dark Ages instead.
No. How about you, Joe?
No. It's an X-Men thing, right?
no.
Close enough. No.
It's a doctor. we can say it is.
Yeah.
It's
just a Marvel thing. Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, right? I picked up this one from Image Comics. As Doctor Strange's sidekick.
Wong.
What's his name?
Wong.
Yes, looks like Wong on the cover there. Maybe that's just me.
You're such a racist.
I don't know. Yeah, sure. there's not a whole lot of dialogue in this whole book at all. It's just mainly him. He's this guy. He's going out. He's constantly getting rained on, getting on the bus, trying to get out. He has his maps up, trying to get to this house, and he ends up getting to the house. And he finds out that people are being tortured in this house, and he leaves really quickly. That's kind of the end of the story. We don't know what his connection is to these people being tortured, the guy that's torturing him, other than him running into him earlier in the day, because he sees all the items he's using to torture the people with. But there's no connection on there at all to what's happening. It didn't leave me with enough wanting to pick up issue 2.
You're crazy.
So, well, I'm sorry, Mike, that I'm crazy. But like no dialogue hardly at all in it. But whatever. Would you pick it up, Mark?
I did not. I might read it digital. Heard some good things.
How about you, Joe? Did you read that one?
No, I'm straight.
Then, Mike, give us your honest opinion on it and tell me how I'm wrong.
So, Wong, who's just basically living his life, they let the art tell the story. There's no dialogue really in it. He gets on the bus, living. You don't know where he's going. You know, he kills a bird. I know that. He just fucking steps on it because it's dying. He ends up at this. He goes to the grocery store, bumps into this guy, and kind of helps him with his groceries back and put his groceries back in his bag. Well, he gets to this house, like Dave said, and he finds 2 people who have been murdered. One's got like a bottle of bleach duct taped to his mouth, like he was force fed the bleach, and he notices all the tools that the killer used was the same that the guy he bumped into. So I'm intrigued. I want to know, why he was going to this house, who this killer is. I'm definitely picking up issue 2.
So it's a detective story at the end of the day. It's like a new war type of thing.
I guess we don't know who that guy is, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's in Canada?
Yeah, it's British Columbia. Yeah. I mean, he leaves like his bloody footprints as he's leaving the scene. He wipes everything down, but he doesn't clean up his bloody footprints. So we don't know if we're going to trace it back to him because he had the maps headed to that house, or what it was like that.
There's enough intrigue for me to go get number 2. So
I can't. He said a Double S said he thought it was a good read. There was nothing to read. There was no dialogue.
Well, it's Double S, so come on. I just noticed that right there on the top is the guy with the bleach.
Let's not make fun of the few fans we have, guys.
I'm not making fun.
They make fun of us, so we get to make fun of them. That's just how this relationship works.
I don't make fun. I just tell the truth.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and let's jump into the You're right. That could be just a little bit shorter. I'll work on shortening that up. Just a little bit shorter. Mark, what else did you read this week that you didn't get a chance to talk about on the quick lightning round here?
Well, during that little transition, I just read the entire Righteous Kill book just then. But seriously, just read over half of it that quick. Nice House on the Lake, probably up there with my top read of the week. What a fantastic issue. They started asking the questions that we, the readers, have been asking since issue 1, mulling over their situation with all of us, with each other. And it was really cool. This issue kind of focused on the scientists, and they made the revelation that the stars in the sky are not moving like the stars are supposed to be moving. So now they're questioning if they're in a simulation, if they're on a spaceship, this, that, and the other. We kind of got a cool flashback and see that Walter the alien has revealed himself to people in the past and stuff, that he's not wanting to have to make the decision to cherry pick these people to put them in this house together. It's hurting his feelings because he tends to like these people, but it was a fantastic issue.
That's all the books you read?
Oh, you want me to go through all of them?
Yeah.
Swamp Thing number 8.
Let's
They
go
wrapped
through
up the Suicide Squad little thing with it. It's been continuously good. Ron V has knocked this book out. That book, Billy the Kid, that Joe talked about forever ago, finally dropped, and it was fantastic. I can't imagine this book without having animal characters as the lead. It really just adds to it, but it has nothing to do with. It doesn't play into the book. They just are, But you basically have a vengeance story with this rabbit that wants to go out and kill a tornado that killed his family, and that might sound crazy, but read it and it'll make sense. And then the new story of the Cimmerian from Ablaze, is it? Yeah, from Ablaze just started this week, and these have consistently been good reads. I haven't gotten around to reading that one yet. And then Last Flight Out number 2 came out from, I think, Dark Horse. That was also good. And Dark Ages number 2 from Marvel was fantastic.
What about you, Joe? Lightning round.
Lightning round. Jennifer Blood. Revenge story and a writer's gore porn. Fancy ways to kill somebody to make it seem shocking. That's it. So blast. The Me You Love in the Dark. We finally had sex with the ghost. So yay. Or is it a ghost? They haven't really defined that yet. We just know it's old. But it's Scotty Young, so I'll keep reading it. Swamp Thing. Hey, can Peacemaker find peace with himself through salvation, or does he have to constantly keep fighting for it? Well, Swamp Thing gave him the option. Let's see what he does next in the next issue. Let's see here. Defenders 3. This is just a blast, and it's garbage, and it's all over the place. Nobody cares. And Deadpool, Blood, White, and Black. Hey, if you like Ryan Reynolds' portrayal of Deadpool, this is right up your line. If you like one-liners and snarky comments, that and none Nazis, because that was in here. It's a blast for me, though.
None Nazis.
Pick of the week, and I saved it for the lightning round because I don't want to talk too much about it. But oh my god, if you don't know why this is good yet, it's because you are a failed comic book reader and you need to find another hobby. I suggest baseball. But yeah, you need to go get this if you like comic book. Period. Dark Ages too.
What about you, Mike?
I only read 2 other books. One of them being Savage Avengers number 25. So last issue, Kang shows up, of course, and helps Conan. What's the name of that guy? Cullen Goth or whatever. Good dude on the front, the sorceress from Conan. He's the only one left in the world besides Conan. So Kang's like, hey, I'm usually the only one left at the end. You need to go fix this. So he grabs Conan and gives him Captain America's shield, Doctor Strange's cloak and Eye of Agamotto. What's the Ebony Blade? Black Knight's Ebony Blade, and sends him out to go kill the sorceress. And of course, they had to ruin it because the sorceress actually swallows Venom. I don't know. Whatever.
Swallows Venom's babies.
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pick of the week.
Gross.
Of course, is Dark Ages. About time Marvel did something right. I also picked up Jennifer's Blood as well. Haven't got a chance to read it yet. Lucky Devil number 3 I also picked up. Last book you'll ever read, number 3. Joker's Puzzle Box what number are we on here? 3. Swamp Thing number 8 also picked up. Nice House on the Lake number 5. And Batman 114 I also picked up. Haven't had a chance to read it because I haven't read Batman 112 yet.
That the Me You Love in the Dark, isn't that the name of Mike's memoir? I think it is.
Well, who was it? Miss So said Ghost Relations, sweet. That's on my bucket list. That's on my bucket list.
Ghost Relations. I think that would probably be the last thing you do on your bucket list right there. It'd be Ghost Relations.
Yeah, that's pretty much done.
Why?
Yeah.
I'm not the
Because you're
one
dead.
dying.
Yeah, you're the one dying. It's called necrophilia, Mike. But if you're
Hey,
into
wait a
that,
second.
that's
I have a
awesome.
question about that. Let's ask the chat. If you have sex with
Necrophilia?
a ghost, is that technically necrophilia, or is sex with the host of the ghost necrophilia? Oh, debate.
I'm not even going to debate that. I don't want to get Billy the Kid. I have to disregard.
Save that for
I didn't-
Friday morning, Joe.
Yeah. I didn't like Billy the Kid, even though Joe talked it up so much. I didn't like it. I'm sorry.
You didn't like it?
No.
That's because you
No.
don't like comic books. Maybe you should take it
I did like Dark
What-
Ages though. I love that cover too. I love the X-23 cover for that Dark Ages #2. This was definitely good, and it has that awesome twist at the end of it too. I think that's killer, you know. And Defenders #3. I didn't get a chance to read this one, and from what Joe sounds like, I probably don't need to.
Well, hold on. Wait a second now. I talked good about Kit or Billy the Kid. You didn't like say, I don't know. Maybe this book's right up your alley.
Maybe. That's it. I think we're going to probably hang around maybe for 30 minutes or so, just kind of chit chat stuff outside of comics. So the link up in the chat if anyone wants to join us in here. And Mike, I don't know if you want to hang out for that, or if you want to take off out.
Hell no.
He's going night-night.
He's going
Wow.
night-night. He's going night-night.
Some
So I'll
of
go
us
to
have
throw
get up in
the.
a few hours.
I'm going to go pee. I'll be right back. And I need more beer.
Well, have out of there. So if you want to stick around and talk about necrophilia, you can go. We can go ahead and do that. But whatever, we're going to go and throw that in the chat right there. So if you want to jump on in here. And
Now I really
so,
did just
we
read a righteous. I really did just read a righteous thirst for vengeance. That was kind of trippy.
Oh, so you just
Yeah.
read it. I mean, it's a quick read.
Yeah. I literally just read it like on here. That ending is confusing.
Yeah, for sure. What else are you looking forward to this next week? It's coming out there, Mark.
Oh, there's a lot of good stuff coming out next week. I have it written down right here. The big one I was looking forward to was the conclusion to Strange Adventures is hitting, and Immortal Hulk #50 is wrapping up. Superman and the Authority is wrapping up. Justice League Last Ride is wrapping up. So it's going to be like a big climactic week for a lot of titles.
That was just popping up. Oh, I don't have any comics pulled. Usually I go to like
League of
Comic
Comic
Geeks,
Geeks.
and I try to get my books kind of like what's coming out so I know. Although I do already have a pull list of stuff.
All right, guys, I'm jumping off here. Thanks, Mark.
You're jumping
for coming
off?
on. I am jumping off.
Okay, you have fun, Mike. We'll see you next Friday night.
Okay.
Okay.
Good night,
Okay.
Mars. Good night, Mrs. So. Miss So.
Good night, Moon.
John Boy.
Good night, Moon. Get out of here.
That's a good book.
A good night, Moon.
Yeah.
So they got that shared there. See here. You ever go to League of Comic Geeks?
Yeah, that's where I'll look at everything that's coming out ahead of
Yeah.
time. Like the layout with all the covers and everything. You can't beat it. The
Yeah,
only thing they need
I
to
definitely
fix is
like.
whenever you hit the back button, it takes you back to the current week. You know, it doesn't take you to the last page.
That's why I usually open it in a new tab to check it out if I want to look at the other one. So, of course, Amazing Spider-Man 76 is coming out. That's what 3 weeks in a row we're having Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 a month, so I don't know how they're going to space out the odd one or whatnot. The new Batman the Imposter from Black Label is starting. That looks pretty cool. It's got Andrea Sorrentino art and Jordi Belair on the covers, colors. I mean, so that should be pretty nice on the eyes. That cover B for Justice League Last Ride is a game changer.
Have you been reading Avengers at all?
I haven't. No, there's not a lot of Marvel on my pool list, and that's Marvel's fault, not mine.
I got Batman, Catwoman #8, which has been confusing as hell.
I didn't see that one when I looked at the list, but I have been pulling it out. I've been really enjoying that. I'm a Tom King fan, though. Like he doesn't normally do bad stories, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Rorschach ended kind of weak, but it was an odd story to begin with.
Let's see here. That's very much a Black Manta #2, almost like a Venom inspired. What is that? Venom #3 with Null. Kind of looks like that.
That's what it looks like.
Let's see. Blade Runner, Blue and Gold. Joe's been digging Blue and Gold. He's not back here to talk about it, but I know he's been liking
I read
that.
the first one. I didn't read the second one. The first one was really cool.
I'm kind of looking for challenges Super Sons to be over. This one definitely has not been as good, I don't think, as the first run of challenge or Super Sons.
That was a weird decision to even make that, being that like the first one was kind of like in continuity with the time era, and this one is just a callback to that time era. You know, it's not even what's current in comics anymore.
What I don't like about this League of Comic Geeks, it shows like exclusive covers to stores and some of that. So sometimes you don't like, you get super excited about seeing a cover, but you're not going to be able to get it.
Then it won't be there. Yeah.
You might have to
Dead Box, Deep Beyond, Department of Truth #12 is coming out next week.
Hell yeah. No, that's already come out. Department of Truth #12 is out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it came out last week.
Yeah, that's the like third double of Hawk. Yeah.
Yeah, did you read that, Joe?
Yeah.
What an issue. Like the big twist that why Hawk is doing what he's doing and playing both sides because he thinks that Jack Ruby killed the real Lee Harvey and not the fiction that was created in his place. And now the guy running the department is the physical embodiment of what is wrong with America.
Yeah.
What?
I hope it doesn't get and again, this is me speculating on the story, and I shouldn't do that, but I hope this doesn't turn into a this is why you shouldn't trust the government type story, right? I don't want that. That's boring to me. And I want this to end on a cliffhanger for volume 2. I don't want this to end with a everything nice, neat, done in a package. Now we're going to have some generic stories for you, like they did with Something's Killing the Kids. Not that I hate Something is Killing the Kids.
I don't like it.
But I hope they don't do that. Like, please do that.
So Miss So says, are you folks reading any older stuff? I'm about 10 years behind on most comics. And that was what we used to do. Like we didn't do a whole lot. We used to do a rewind show though, where we go back and look at older comics. And I'm thinking about bringing that back because I have like 10,000 books in my collection. Most of the stuff I've read is all the current stuff. I have so many back issues that I haven't even read. Like I had just finished my Elvira run. I want to read through those. I want to read through some other back issues I have. So I thought about running another show where maybe once a month, twice a month, where we just pick some random issues, and maybe you don't have to join along or whatever. We can have different guests on and talk about some of the back issues that are in our collection, what we're reading. I thought that'd be kind of a fun show to do. So
while you were here, everybody saw me pick up a bunch of comic books, and I have a rule: you buy a comic book, you read a comic book, and a lot of this stuff was before my time, especially the Golden Age stuff. So I will flip through a lot of the Golden Age stories, the books that we picked up while you were here. On our whole videos, and I've been flipping through those and rereading those because it's amazing to me to see how far storytelling has come and what's relevant during those time frames. So I've been reading some of that kind of stuff too, and it's interesting to me. Double S, I love Double S.
Are you going to finish up Immortal Hulk, Mark?
Oh hell yeah. Dude, that was an amazing run, like overall.
What are your thoughts on Kate's taking over for Hulk? I mean, it's starting a new series, of course, but
it's almost like a living nightmare happening in front of my eyes.
You think so? Really?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Kate's. There's already images out, like the spoiler images for what he's doing, and you have Hulk flying through space with a jetpack on, wearing a Weapon H helmet. Like, go get the fuck out of here.
Fair.
Like, Al Ewing took Hulk back down to the most basic of basics and twisted it. Donny Cates is just going to pour gasoline and throw a match on it and just let this stupid hype train of comic speculators and his self-promotion run that book into the ground.
I was not a fan of the whole leader involvement in Immortal Hulk. I thought that was
There it is, Huey.
That one right
That's
here.
that B cover with Darkseid on it holding Superman. That is insane. I enjoy the leader stuff because the way that they did it. Hey, Austin, the way that they brought him up, they teased him in issue 25 and then played into everything that happened before him having a part in it. So they threw that back context onto it and it worked out good. And the leader finally having this realization that like he can't beat the Hulk because of the source of the Hulk and going straight to that source and tampering with it from that perspective. The leader not just trying to out science him, but he's trying to out woo woo him. And I thought that was a cool angle to go with. And just the horror aspect of it. It's like if John Carpenter did the layouts for Incredible Hulk. This is how twisted it would look. I appreciate that. It was unique.
I do need to do a quick update on Delta Dogs and our variant cover. We decided on what issue of Delta Dogs we're going to do, and we decided on issue 11.
That's the next issue, isn't it?
No, we're all the way up to 17. We're going to do a reprint of issue 11 because issue 11 starts another story arc, and you kind of get this realization that they're in an environment with, and not to spoil the story, but they're actually in a world with other superheroes where the first few issues did not really make that clear to you. It was kind of a surprise thing. So I thought,
Thanks for ruining it.
yeah, don't worry about it. I'll tell you the whole story if you want.
I got the first 5 issues sitting here. My LCS owner, Paul, who's in the chat down there, he ordered the first 10 issues and he burned through the first 5 and passed them off to me to read.
Yeah. And like I said, this is a young guy. And the great thing about Delta Dogs is and I think my attraction to it is that you see a young writer, like a real young writer, and you get to see his writing evolve and the artwork evolve. Like you get those first steps of it. And for me, it's special because this is a guy I can see and talk to, and like he'll ask opinions and get feedback from people. He's very, very open to I don't want to say criticism, but ideas, I think is the best way to put it.
Is he going to be at C2E2?
He's not. He's going to Baltimore. He's going to be in Baltimore. He was able to get time off in Baltimore. So I may sneak up for a day or two to Baltimore and just kind of hang out with him and do so. I like Baltimore Comic Con. I think that's a fun Comic Con.
When is Baltimore?
Baltimore's at the end of the last weekend of the month.
Oh, okay, that's a little bit quick notice.
Yeah.
It's hard to set up a business meeting that fast, huh?
Yeah, I got nothing in Baltimore. Although we'll talk about business for 5 minutes, Joe, and then I'll be able to write it all off.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. That's what I keep telling people. Just LLC your shit and then go have lunch.
Yep.
Hey, what's going on, Southern Comic Geek? Good to see you here. And again, we still haven't released, and I'm purposely doing this. And I know it's driving people crazy, but we haven't released the issue yet because honestly, we gave it to Delta Dogs. So when we know we have print in hand, that's when we'll release the picture, the beautiful, beautiful cover that Austin LeMay did.
And what do you think the time frame is on that?
We sent it to the publishers. We had to do a quick ad for it for Blastin and Stashin on there because they wanted us to put an ad in there since we sponsored the cover. So we put something together relatively quickly, but still visually appealing. So I'm waiting for a word back and then the final sign off, and then I pay the bill and it's done.
It's exciting, man. I can't wait.
Do you know what the print run on it's going to be yet?
So what we're going to do is we're doing 50 right up off the bat. And we can print to order, and you can also go on there and order one and have it shipped directly to you. It's a print to order type of deal here. It's through Kaboom. So that's not a problem. But we definitely want these 50 that we're definitely getting physical copies of delivered here. We're going to have those set up, and we're going to get some signatures done for everybody out there. We're going to make sure Austin LeMay can get a couple of signatures out there. And then we're going to talk to Austin LeMay to see if maybe he would consider, approving, maybe some prints or, we really want this cover to really get out there, because I'm going to be honest with you. I loved his Something is Killing the Turtles print that he did. I absolutely loved it. But this is better. This is better. I'm saying it now.
Well, it's 100% original
Yeah.
compared to a homage.
I got the artwork ready to go, man. So if you want to do prints, I could set that up.
It would be, I think something cool would happen. But then again, we did give the artwork. So, we'll take care of the business end on the back end of it. That's not a problem. We'll make sure everybody walks away happy and everybody is comfortable with it, and then we'll just all make sure, all you out there that want it, get it.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely chat about it. I think that with the vivid colors and stuff that we used, maybe doing a handful of foil prints might be really cool too.
Also, Miss O wants to know if you decided on the horror theme for the book you were.
So I came up with 2 ideas. I don't know if I could pull it off in time unless I ship after Halloween. But I wanted to do, and hopefully nobody steals my ideas. I wanted to do Moon Knight, but as the Ghostbusters logo.
Oh, okay.
And I was also thinking about doing a kind of like a mix between Freddy Krueger and Wolverine, kind of a full-on Halloween theme. But I was going to print it on black paper and just do the image in red only and have the red printed in foil.
It's very Delato of you.
So
Bring me some more black paper.
More black paper.
So that's what I was thinking. Hopefully I can pull it off. We'll see.
Here's the idea. Tell me what y'all think about this. Throwing an idea out there, spitballing, right? I want you to picture this. New guy, our guy Ryan, right? Writes a one-shot comic book, right? Austin LeMay does the cover for it, maybe a couple of variants, because we know people are suckers for that. We're still live, right? All right.
Yeah, we're still live. Sorry. I'm looking at Ranger Stranger's variant cover for the New York City Comic Con. Sorry.
And then we get Ignacio to do the interior art. Find somebody that can do some lettering.
Justin Birch. Oh, Austin can letter.
Austin can do lettering too. I'm more than happy to edit or seed fund it. That's not a problem. And we launched that as the first YouTube comic book community comic book.
Now, is this going to be the comic that you talked about not a long time ago, but a while back that you already had planned out?
You know what? Well, that's something we'll talk about with new guy. I'm sure he's got his own story he wants to tell.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like telling artists what to do. I'm sure he's got his own thing he wants to do, and we can see what that is. Mine is on hold right now. I pulled mine back because I have some other things that I'm working on, so it's still stashed over there. But
yeah, no, that sounds awesome, man. I'd love to be involved in something like that.
YouTube comic book. Oh my god! And literally, you just take characters from our community, like us, put it in a comic book.
That's a little too cartoony now, don't you?
Is this a different Ryan than Campfire Ryan?
No, Cosmic Campfire Ryan is a writer. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That I think that would be something no other little communities here in YouTube do, like the car guys, do it yourself guys, crafting. By the way, Gary B. Casual called me, hey, Pocan Joe does comic book reviews and he's kind of a crafting guy. Do y'all consider me a crafter?
Yeah, I've seen you bedazzle some stuff and yeah, I call it crafting.
I call it glow powdering, but kind of the same thing. I guess.
Get out of anything.
That's kind of crafting, right? I'll go with it.
You're a crafter, Joe. Don't deny it. Yeah, so we were talking about books that are coming out next week. Anything else coming out next week, movie wise, TV wise? That's hitting the scenes. I think a lot of stuff's
Stargirl
now.
Stargirl comes out. It's because you're not watching it.
You need to hang up the CW hang up because I had it too.
Mm-hmm.
And about the only thing on CW that I'll even bother even looking at right now is straight up Stargirl. Because
Just keep in mind, it didn't start as a CW show. It started as a DCU streaming show.
Right.
It got sold off the CW. And it's still done just like the DC Universe streaming thing. It has its own tone, its own style, it's its own thing. And in CW's defense, like they heard the feedback from people. Look what they did with Superman and Lois. That does not match the format or formula of the CW stuff at all. And it's technically Arrowverse, just like Elseworld's future version. But yeah, big kudos to Berlanti or whatever his name is for recognizing that it was getting to the end of the rope and making the proper adjustments.
Yeah. At this point, Flash is just an idiot in his own show. And we saw what happened with the Arrow. It was
who cares about Batwoman, Legends? Like
nobody cares. It's all garbage. It's just like, oh my God.
What is the next big movie coming out?
Spider-Man.
Is that
next Christmas?
I think Eternals comes out before Spider-Man does, doesn't it?
I think we have Doctor Strange. Is that before? No, I think that's after Spider-Man.
I think
the Multiverse of Madness. I think Spider-Man's the next big one from Marvel.
Yeah,
with DC, there's no big one in the pipeline. You have like the trailer. Oh my God, the trailer for Peacemaker's HBO Max thing. What they showed looked amazing.
I haven't watched that yet. I got to go check that out.
Go check that clip out. And Vigilante looks legit, like super legit. And then you have DC Fandom dropping next Saturday, a week from tomorrow. So come a week from tomorrow, like there's going to be some shit to look forward to. Like they're going to have release Black Adam stuff, Flashpoint stuff. They're going to be laying out like TV properties coming up. Like, so there's going to be a better idea of when what is coming after next Friday.
Are you still planning to do a stream during Fandom?
Yeah, my wife tried to throw a fucking wrench in that with the kids' little fall festival bullshit, but God, that worked out. So she actually got her job worked out too, where she can hang out and do shit. So I'm going to try to check the schedule for Fandom and like go live for some of it, and hopefully be able to do like live, like hang out while like they first premiere these, because you can only watch it at DCFandom.com where you pre-register and stuff. And I'm sure you can find people on YouTube streaming it as well and all that. But like for the community that we hang out with, it'd be cool to be able to sit there and immediately go ahead and be excited about stuff or be like, what the hell about stuff, you know? So hopefully that'll be fun next Saturday to go hit up the Legion and chit chat some of this stuff.
Yeah, that sounds
You noticed
cool.
that he was looking off camera to make sure his wife wasn't coming in there.
No, I brought my wife on camera and let her run her idea by Ryan and Panda last night. And Panda goes, well, don't you have a lot of support to go with you, Kyle? Like Fandom's just once a year, and for Mark to miss Fandom, that's not a thing.
Here's a Miss So says hashtag Legion claimed fall festivals bullshit.
Well, see, my son, he's 3. You know, it's at his pre-K. It's at from 4 to 7. Like, bitch, that's dinner time for a 3-year-old to begin with. Like, y'all do this shit at lunchtime or something. Like, they're try-hard ass little daycare. I don't care what they think they are, but
wow,
my son is not a sheltered kid at all. He's been in 1,000 bouncy houses with me and without me, and that's all it fucking is. So I'm glad he'll have fun. If Phantom wasn't happening, I'd be in the bouncy house with him, but it is happening. So
we do decide one thing.
Thank you, Austin.
Too. We need to figure out what we're going to do with these silver and gold coins.
Yeah, you have some right there you want to show off?
Yeah.
You throw them in the mail packets with the first X number of people to buy your variant.
I think so. That's an idea. So we have a pewter and Nordic gold. So believe it or not, the pewter is actually worth more monetarily than the Nordic gold. But we have 2 of them. We kept it simple. For those comic books you just couldn't make up your mind on.
Some good looking BS right there.
Now we got those, so we need to figure out. I like the idea of the first because we only got. Well, of course, you and Mike will get one, and then after that we have what we have. I'm at a Nordic gold computer, so yeah.
Is he going to have some on the shelf he's selling in the stores too?
Yeah, he's going to put them out in a special variant at the local stores, but they buy direct.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, so even if people can't get one or whatever the case may be, you can still go on to Millennial Comics and order that issue there.
So there'll be no chance of selling out. There'll just be unlimited numbers.
Print it whenever we can. Yeah.
Are they going for
So-
cover price? What's the price on the variant?
It's that I don't know. That's not. I'm out of that conversation. That's between him and the printer at that point. It will be. It will. He's a genuinely good guy. He's not Cocaine Joe. He's
not an asshole.
Yeah, he's not going to try to rate people for anything. I'd be surprised if he goes over the cover price on it. To be honest with you.
What is the ad in there for our channel going to look like? What's it going to say? Is it just a logo, or is it going to have like, hey, join us Friday nights, or what's it going to say on there?
We had to come up with something kind of generic because we had to get it to the printer before you could give me everything.
Gotcha.
So we did the cover page, the updated one, and then website, how to find us, blah blah. It's extremely generic.
Okay. Tylox is the Mighty was asking what book
to do that, but the printer, because of copyright concerns, saying it's a Blastin and Stashin variant, they needed the ad in there just for copyright reasons.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
It's a book called Delta Dogs, Tylox,
Delta Dogs
from Millennial.
It's pretty cool. It's a good story.
Is anybody else going to any other cons? I know you said you were talking about going to Baltimore Comic Con. Anybody else going to any more cons coming up? No.
No,
Yeah, I think
like going to be my first in a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing Baltimore, not the full Baltimore experience, and I'm doing C2E2 because I just found out that some of my Golden Age dealers are going to be there, and they have some stuff that I want. So I want to do some on the floor dealing there.
I was thinking
would like
about
to go to
going to
C2E2
LA, but-
again. Go ahead. Sorry, Austin. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say I was thinking about going to LA Comic Con, but it's the weekend before C2E2.
Yeah, that's two big tickets.
Yeah.
They're close.
Well, guys, I got to hop off here. It's getting close to midnight. I got to get up early. I definitely appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, no
Austin,
problem.
it's always a pleasure.
All right, sir.
And I'll
Join
catch
us
y'all
next
next
week
time.
too. Yeah, we'll be have
Getler.
Chip Gettler's in here, going to be on here. Yeah. Yep. So
Yeah, he should be having
thank
his
you.
banter tomorrow night too. If y'all want to ever hop over there and hang out.
Has
with
he
us.
been all right? I sent him a message and I didn't get a response back.
He's been on and off busy here lately. So yeah, I haven't. He wasn't on the Friday morning hangout this morning like he normally is when he can. So
yeah.
yeah.
Good.
Should we end the show with Mark here? With the I still have the TMNT outro that I made.
Do it.
I should do
Don't
that
tell
before
him,
it
just
bounces.
do it.
I don't know if Mark's ever seen this, so we're going to go ahead and bounce on out of here too. Mark, Austin, if you want to hang out in the off air just for a few minutes, then we could bounce out from there. But whether you blast or whether Stash, happy reading, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Wow, this is the most amazing fight scene I've ever seen. I feel so bad for anybody that isn't getting to see this amazing mutant on ninja action that I'm seeing right now.
Excuse me. Is this where we sign up for Fight Club?
Casey Bones.